I'm sorry, I was muted. I was saying I'm not ready for this. I went looking for snacks. Potato chips, good snack food. Maple glazed, bacon and cheddar. They are beyond next level. Like that. Oh man. Like they... What worries me, limited edition. Does that mean there's no more, like, that? You know, they could potentially stop making these? I mean, there's almost no scientific words in the ingredients as well. You know, like the first word is potatoes. That's a good sign. There's no numbers in anything either. Like, you know how there's like flavor number 402 or color number 3. Like, none of that stuff. It's just got like, you know, salt, cheddar cheese powder, smoked yeast powder. I guess that must be something with a smoky flavor. Bacon powder. Maple syrup powder. Wow, okay. And the natural colors are paprika extract and curcumin. You know, I know what paprika is. Curcumin must be some other something that colors. Oh my god. Oh, it is so good. Dude. You could eat chips for every meal, you'd be a happy man. That means you never have pizza. Or would you just include chips in every meal? Not like completely exclusively only chips. You'd put the chips on the pizza. Now that's five-head galaxy brain. Alright, let's see if we can end this train wreck. Oh man, there's no voice acting. I've got to read it myself. Speaking of voice acting, I was watching my indie video clips and stuff of things coming out. Disco Elysium, the final cut, with 1.2 million words of voice acting. I don't know how good we got to play it, right? Right, no more tips for Panz. Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgelord? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgelord? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgelord, if you could please tell us the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? Cool. What do you mean, Mr. Edgelord? This note was not even written by Miss Impacts herself. It is a fake. You reckon he's lying? Order, Mr. Edgelord. Would you care to explain what is going on? What needs explaining? It's not her handwriting? This note was not written by Mr. Impax. Then who wrote it? That's not how a handwriting analysis works, Judge. It tells you if it was or wasn't a match to the handwriting you supply as a sample. It doesn't then go on and tell you who it did belong to if it doesn't belong to the one person in the world that you wanted it to be from. We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis. However, it appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida. Oh, he faked the suicide note so that he could dish out the dirt at the press conference. Okay. Well. Seems my shirt is way too small again. Looks like Miss Impax never left a suicide note after all. Or she did, and he didn't want to present that one. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that, so the facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was a real note, he had plotted to possess it. Hey, Mathos. That does sound very plausible, because I'm an idiot. This theory that Ungard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. I don't know if we're buying that. Something seems a little wrong with it. We can present evidence, or we can let it go. Okay. We can use this is the problem when the plot holes are so thin, like they're so big. You know, the plot is thin, the holes are big, and you don't know. We could use any of the spying devices evidence, I guess, since they were spying on each other. He might have, and be like, he wrote the note in the hotel, which seems dumb. If he'd already planned the press conference, he probably would have written the note at home and brought it with him in the bear. And that's the problem. If we try to say, well, he would have known it was fake because he's been spying on him, we could just get done with, no, he didn't see it, that's it, you lose. But if we back down, then there's a problem. Like, we probably just backing down feels like it just admits guilt, or like makes our person guilty. The defense believes a theory of prosecution as stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Ungard to not have known it was a fake. Yeah, he's going with the camera theory. Oh my god. What is this little item called again? It's a camera. It's a video camera, Your Honor. Oh, that's right, a camera. You kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgelord, earlier you claimed Mr. Ongard knew the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't that right? Maybe. If that were true, then this means Mr. Ongard would have known that the victim had forged the note. But I don't know. So then the defendant knew this suicide note was fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed. But I would know that you would know that I would know that you know that I know that you would change, and therefore you would put the poison in front of me. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Engarde's motive for murder was has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, Phoenix is doing it again. It's not as if, and this is what I was worried about, we just get slapped with it. Well, it was right for us, but it's not right for you. It's not as if Engarde monitored Mr. Carita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Engarde didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgelord. Why don't you show us some proof the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Yeah. Oh, that's what happened. It was I'm going with my theory of bring your kids to work day. And the 5-year-olds are doing a, but you said I did, but you didn't say it, but you did. No, you did. You know. And they were both the kids of high-ups in the company. And none of the actual writers wanted to go to their bosses and say, look, your kids wrote some really dumbass stuff in our in the game. So they just ran with it. It looks like this time it's you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. Huh? As you figured. As I figured, it came down to this after all. Mr. Edgelord, you're not making any sense. Oh, well then that fits with everything else that's happened today. How would you take your kids to work if you fly a plane and such, Well, you'd take them to the place that the plane is at, and you'd show them around. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Engarde's motive through the evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh? Well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgelord's stuttering. This is not like him. Unusual? What sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgelord? This witness is the one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley DeKiller to commit murder? Yeah, what? Is it Shelley DeKiller? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer this question with such certainty. Yeah, Mr. Edgelord. Who is this witness? It is... It's Yes, go on. Who is it? The man himself. That's it, I'm done. What is this? Oh, yeah, Mr. DeKiller, of course. Yeah, sure. Nothing's wrong with that. Wait, what? Shelley the killer. You mean the killer? I mean, the assassin. Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here, to the witness stand. Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask your permission. Well, Mr. Wright, what's unusual about it? That the murderer is on trial? Every case we've had so far, they've put who they thought the murderer was on the witness stand. Now they're actually putting someone they know that did the crime on the witness stand. What's the problem? Yes? Is this alright with you? Do we have a choice? Why do we have a choice here? Can't really do much else to drag this trial out. Hey, that means they've got Maya. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. Wonder if it really is alright to do this. What could possibly be... I don't understand why there's a problem with this. It makes... Why are they all losing their mind? Very well, then the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgelord, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your occupation, please. What? Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin. I say, what's going on here? Your Honor. How can you remain so calm? And what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you're in fact Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya! A voice? Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley the Killer. Looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I indeed killed Mr. Corrida. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream. I wish, Judgy Bay. But no. What is he going to say? There is something I must first state. To an assassin, there is nothing more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Wow. There is something I must first state. That's nothing we can do with that. To an assassin, there is nothing more important than the trust between client and himself. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. Dude, you have a zipper on your face. And that is why you're testifying in this manner. This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yeah, that person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly. That's enough. Please no more. Very well. It was only a hypothetical anyway. Okay, that's the trust one. That seems a little strange to me. And you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. You... Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but... would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. Yeah, because he wants to take the privilege of the he wants to be granted the kill as a trophy kill. That's his right. Since he did the kill, he wants the credit for the kill. So by his client trying to push it onto someone else, is taking the credit away from him. In which case then the current contract is broken, so he can say who his client was. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. Well, no, this is where it's weird because... What's-his-face admitted to us that he hired him. And we've been trying to sort of protect him even though we know he's the killer because we've been stalling until they can find this guy because he's got Maya kidnapped. But then I was thinking about it. Matt didn't try to frame anyone else. He never tried to make it look like Miss Andrews. He never tried, he hasn't done anything except thing. And we were trying to push the angle that it was Miss Andrews to get our client free. But maybe it actually was Miss Andrews because she did, you're right, she did try to push it onto Matt. And she has motive, like she thinks it's because of Juan that her friend died. And since she was the only one who knew to open the bear, that's the only reason the suicide note would be in the bear, so she could have put it in there. Right? which is one of the rubbish things I was complaining about in the previous act, because there's no reason why he would have put it in the bear, and everyone is too stupid to see that. Like, if he'd taken that suicide note that's, what, a year old or 2 years old, and he had it hidden, I don't know, let's make some place up, under the nightstand at his parents' place, or, you know, in a bank deposit box, or I don't know, in one of his childhood toys, and all of a sudden he starts dating some girl that he would know the relationship between her and Celeste, he wouldn't move the suicide note to some toy that she had just given him, knowing full well that she was the only other person that could open it, because she could open it. You know, it's just, it was so rubbish. And the fact that these guys couldn't see that. So I'm thinking it is Andrews. Well, unless On Guard knew something about the murder, like, unless he was okay with it, and was, or unless On Guard actually is as, like, grossly breath of fresh air as he presents himself to be, like that sickeningly sweet, I'm such a goody two-shoes, that when he found out that it was Adrian Andrews late in the goings on, he's tried to pretend it was him when we sort of pressed a little bit to prevent her from getting in trouble. But I don't know, that doesn't feel like it falls in place. Some sort of combination in there. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. Well, I know, but I keep playing games with, like, writing that's terrible. That wouldn't actually be bad. The bad writing and all the rubbish how dumb characters are in games wouldn't be so bad if the first 90% wasn't so good. Like, seriously, the second game for Phoenix Wright has been amazing. Big Top was hilarious. It was wonderful. You know, and the start of this was awesome, and then it's just. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Yeah. Well, I agree with him. I don't really care about all the extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience, Phoenix. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. Not his therapist, you know. Okay, so I'm just going to press everything until we get the right combination. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry, go on. Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. Yep. That's only because you don't know about my situation exactly. Alright, Valkyrie, thanks for hanging out, dude. Okay, so we've read this one, but we're pushing again because we're being forced in a loop, so we're just going to press everything until it moves forward. You said your client had already broken the rules. Here we go. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person. I have no trust relation with the client who can't understand their assigned role. Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? I don't know. This cape just keeps getting better and better? That word, you keep using it. I don't think it means what you think it means. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Wait, and that is the reason I'm here. Okay.
Hold
It seems a little strange to me, and you're about to tell some of your client. I think that would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter, they've already broken their role. Judge better watch himself. I do believe it's about time I reeled in my client. Agree? I agree.
Hold it!
What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. Come on. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness? What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews. You're right.
Objection!
That's not who you told it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. This can't be on the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that the killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back, huh? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Matt on guard, perhaps. I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. Deceived into being told the truth. This witness is telling a very serious lie. You were the one who summoned this witness. Shelley the Killer. My testimony is the truth. I'm still baffled by the whole thing. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Yeah, he could be lying. Wow. Wow. All of a sudden it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there's a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DK's client, who was requested the murder, was not the defendant at all. No. It's obvious that Mr. Mad on guard. I should save? No, I'm alright. Is innocent. No, seriously. Because you don't have to unlock the next game. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, On Guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. I mean, I never really liked her anyway. Yeah, but... But Edgelord is right. The killer is lying. Well, how do we know? How do we actually know? And On Guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Well, do you? You are a moron. Can I live with myself if I win this? Yes, you can. Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant? Your Honor, prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now was all one big lie. Andrews. The suicide note may have been fake, but that man, he's the reason Celeste is dead. Matt's death was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. Testimony just now. You have to believe me. It was horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client. There are 3 or 4 questions in a row that if give you a bad ending if you get it wrong, then we get a bad ending if we get it wrong. I'm not playing all endings, so we'll get one and that'll be it. No, that's not true. Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's... You even have a motive. We know that this Celeste Impacts was part of your life. I would say you had plenty of reasons to want them both dead. Hey, no. Mr. Wright. I thought he was going to let us choose one of his speech words. You know the truth. Tell them. Well, we don't know the truth. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please. I mean, I'm still running the scenarios through my head. It's definitely one of the two of them, right? Well, you'd think so. Well, the real killer is the killer. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Andrews or thing? Andrews or Matt? Andrews or Matt? Therefore, ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? Gumshoe's dead, right? Well, he didn't die. He's just had an accident somewhere. What am I supposed to do? Okay, so if we get a verdict, and it looks like right now it's going to be a not guilty verdict. That would be good. It could be a guilty verdict, but it doesn't look that way, right? If we request the trial continue, we could potentially keep going. I don't think if we requested the trial to... Alright, so if we request the trial continue and the judge says no and gives us a verdict anyway, I don't think he gives a bad verdict just because we hit request. That would be terrible. I don't think I'd play the third game if they did that. Whereas if we request the verdict, we're going to get the verdict. So request the trial continue is the only one that could give us both. And there doesn't seem to be a downside in waiting for more information. So it feels like that's the one that actually progresses story, even though Phoenix would probably request a verdict. Phoenix! I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You're a lawyer. I know. But Matt on guard is a killer, a murderer. It would be really funny if he actually wasn't, if it was Andrews. And then Phoenix is judging his client based on the thing. But we had that talk. But was he? I don't think he was lying to us at that stage. I think he is actually the client, the client of the assassin. But he could be taking the fall for Andrews and cheating, like lying to us. Can't let him get away with this. Can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I'm no better than on guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact. That is because of Edgelord. I now know the real truth. Could have gotten on guard convicted so many times over. Never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust. Never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do. Your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But, That witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. Oh. I was trying to think through it and I right-clicked instead of left-clicked. Trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish a connection with Mr. Tequila. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about, usually done? What shall we have him testify about now? Mr. Tequila, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime. By pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrido was dead. The more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife in Botron. The act is what I was referring to when I said the client had broken the rules. It's a most unexpected turn of events for the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgelord. We still have the cross-examination to do. You don't need to question testimony like this, do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then... And I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't know how to say what's going on either. Like, yeah. Are we just pressing on these? So the only thing is, how does he know about this? Because it was done within the court. But... can't expose the lies. No exposing the lies here. It'll be bad for our client. Yeah, confused. Can't let the trial end. Of course we can't. But is the client using it to pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Okay. The knife and the button was breaking the rules. Man, what do they think? Come on, Phoenix. What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. I have to do something to waste more time. Witness. About requesting a hit. Yes. How much is your fee? Huh? If you'd like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No, that's not what he meant. No, no. You want to kill me? You want me dead? Don't you? No, Judge, no. Is he actually declaring us guilty? What was that rubbish? Why did you disclose the name of your client? They're your client, are they not? Where are we? Okay, cannot overlook his temperament. I think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. He's the... It's his profession. Why would he not be able to overlook that? If he's the one doing the killing, of course he can overlook someone wanting someone else dead. Yep. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job, idiot. However, I will say this. Even though I'm the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. No, you're still the murderer. Yeah, their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my clients this time thought they could run away from their guilt. They thought they could run away from their guilt. And his business card. Business card makes it easy to identify. And to disregard everything, go stab the deceased with a knife and even to hide my card from sight. Something you can't overlook. You're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing. Yeah, most clients probably wouldn't even go anywhere near it. That is correct. Usually most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Tony, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. Phoenix not using the services ever. The judge is happy. From the very beginning. That is correct. From I visited the room, all my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. If that's really true. That's odd. Why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. Why would someone who had requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. You can only assume it was probably to a Frey guard. Which is why he's angry. That's the case, why did the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. Huh? My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame, and protect them is my duty. And yet no one's saying, so you could be setting up Miss Andrews just to protect... What's his face? Like, edgelord should be all over this. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. Attack this one.
Hold it!
Yeah, I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. Again. As in you plan to continue. I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the full successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Phoenix the Killer? Excuse me? No, I'm fine. Really? Are you really now? I have no idea. We pressed everything. Oh, we'll just press everything again. That's the plan. It's worked 3 times already, the last act in this one. Hold down right mouse. How much is your fee? Have the judge think we want to kill him. Have edgelord say something. Press. We've been working our APM. Do we get something in the court record there? We're just doing it again. Oh, that's the one that was showing us. Okay. So we're repressing. Hopefully get a new one. But we're going to skip any of the text if we get it, because I'm not going to sit there and read every one while we go through all of it again to see if one of them's new. It's something I'm willing to accept. Okay, so that's the second time, or if not third time through, gone through that. Maybe I should have just taken the verdict. Yeah, the people up in the gallery, they seem to know, right? Puzzle. Did he get the puzzle? Who introduced Dracula's card? I can't remember if it was us or what's his face? He's got two bits of sentences that are slightly contradictory, but I don't know how to send them to the game. And one of them's here where he's got Andrews already knew the beginning one creator was dead. And there's a bit where he said... That's a bit of one of his other things. When he says something about... yeah, Andrews is playing with it forever. We'd found two of the cards though, right? Where was the other card? The other one is with Maya. Oh yeah, I think you're right there. Maya found the other one. That was maybe that was a hint to us that the that he had her. Although Mia sees it when oh that's right, Maya had written on it, I think, for Mia. And that way when Pearls summons Mia, she tells us about it. What are we going to do now? We're going to cycle through them again for another 10 minutes. That's what we're going to do. Would I like the answer? I'm starting to feel that way. It's I'm hoping it's something that, yeah, give me the one next step, because otherwise I'd just be taking a complete stab in the dark and it's not going to work. Adrian didn't know Juan was dead. We know this because she's not the criminal. Well, we don't know she's not because even though it's that conversation that we had with what's his face with On Guard, and the other thing that like they're all going on the assumption that that is gospel, but he could have been lying there to protect Adrian. She poured a glass. Right. She said she didn't know he was dead, and she did know he was dead, and she needed to calm her nerves, but maybe he'd just fainted and the glass was for him. And that's what she told us. And so even if that's not true, we go on the basis that it was true, and that's why there's a contradiction. No, she didn't, because she told us that she... blah, blah, blah. Objection! That's terrible. Thank you for so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. Tequila. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea Juan Carita had been murdered. But he's saying the client was Adrian Andrews. And this is where it falls apart logically, right? If the client is Adrian Andrews, like he's saying it is, she did know. And she's going through the motions of getting caught herself so that she can deflect. So pouring the glass of wine is a really smart move, because then it becomes a red herring for Phoenix and the police. Right? So it's a very calculated move for Adrian to do if she is the actual client. You know, pour the thing. It also then gives her this, I'm going to pretend to frame Matt with it. That way, if the police fall for it and Matt gets framed, it's all great. If they don't, I can use it as a way of getting me out of the issue. But how? How do you know that? We don't. It's all rubbish. From this wine glass, Your Honor. And the real reason it falls apart is because the only reason we know that she didn't... The only reason we think we know that she didn't know that Juan was dead is because she told us. And here's a little thing that she could have been doing. She could have been lying. Now, we know you're supposed to tell the truth when you're on the witness stand, but if you're the murderer... Chances are, if they say, did you do it? You're going to be like, no. Like, it's... Some people might just be like, yeah, I did it. And they'll be like, oh, well, that was easy. Case dismissed. Guilty. You know? Probably not dismissed then. But, you know. The glass. Mr. Tequila's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted. No, she's just being smarter than you, and this is, yeah. She's just being smart, Phoenix. Which is why the glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. Is that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? Well, he gets it, and he's an idiot. No, she's not that smart. That's not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would have never left their fingerprints behind. Unless they wanted you to find them. I see your point. Mr. Edgelord, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Why not stay away if you knew the dead guy in the room you ordered dead? Because she wanted to frame... The idea is she wanted to frame someone for the murder that didn't do the killing. But the person she had hired didn't want to frame him. He wanted to take credit for it. Right? So by having an assassin take credit, the police go looking for the person who hired the assassin. Right? And she wanted to skip that part and send it on to him. But I don't think that's how it is. I think it actually was our client that hired the dude. I don't think it's Adrian Andrews. Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim. And your client should have knowledge of Mr. Kurita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. No, it doesn't. It could just mean she's... yeah, anyway. How strange. Yes. Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix. If the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know.
Objection!
Mr. Edgelord, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. They're putting on the worst daytime drama TV show for the radio. I'm sitting in the witness stand. That was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests first the testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right, now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial... You reckon Gumshoe's running them in? You reckon he had the car accident and because his phone broke, he's just running them in? And it was going to be a 20-minute car trip. So for someone that's speeding and running red lights, how long would that 20-minute car trip take for them to run? This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory. I believe I have made no mistakes. It would not take less to run a 20-minute trip that would have taken in a car. In any story. That is not possible. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Are we just supposed to press everything? I think that's the deal. We press everything, right? We're supposed to waste time? Wonderful. 1 week ago. Are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, have my own preparation. And I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Tony, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop. Stop! In any case, my client this time had very specific date and time in mind. A specific date and time. Did you ask why on that specific night? No. It is kind of pointing at Andrews again, though. Because by doing it at that date and time, gives her the opportunity to set up Matt for the murder. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? I'm just going to press further. What are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in one Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. Must be talking about this puzzle bear. Adrian could have been watching through Matt's other room. Wouldn't it be funny if that's her bedroom? Like maybe she lives with him. Like he needs her there on like to wait on him. Like so if at like 2 o'clock in the morning he needs to call his agent about something, she's there. And that's her bedroom and she set up all the cameras to spy on one. Inside that figurine was the suicide note. Yeah, we know. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. Why? Well, no. Still, he wouldn't have. This is ridiculous. He was planning to publicly disclose the contents of the press conference after all. Hearsay. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. Let's see. Oh, Mr. Wright? Was the testimony just now of any importance? I don't know. I wonder if we say if it was not important if we get in trouble. It kind of was important. It almost is, right? I'm just thinking, I was trying to think back if there's been times where we've done it. I don't think if you say it's not important, you're going to lose health. If you say it is important and it's not, you're going to lose the same amount of health, right? Yeah, if Unguard was spying, he would have known where the bear was, right? Testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is I have no idea what I'm doing. The client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Okay. Why is everyone so quiet? That points the secret. That points it to be Miss Andrews, and unless by this stage he's already worked it out. This is the thing that is making the least sense at all. Why would one move the suicide note from wherever it was to the bear? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. Oh, God. Well, they said that it was a fake note, right? So it doesn't matter. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. Witness, I'd like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? That's because I value the trust between client and myself above all else. The only way to establish is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Why does he have stitches? Oh, unless it was from the fight with, No. Because he would have got... whoever saw him afterwards, what's his face who saw him afterwards, he would have been bleeding a lot if that was the case. Yeah, see, it was important. Of course it was very important, Your Honor. Mr. Tequila had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. You see, it is just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, would the witness please continue? The client was Adrian Andrews. That is correct. He says it to a map, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with Tequila's testimony. It is strange this time around. You have to draw information for him, but you can't draw a suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Sure. Please stop. Specific night, no. To fulfill requests, had suspicions. For the bear. We spoke of the bear. It's the suicide note bear. It was important. Phoenix is going to be in trouble. It's unlikely. Okay, so all we do is work out that the killer hasn't made a mistake on who his client is. So the thing we do is we can present a contradiction, but any of those are just wrong and you just lose health. Oh man, like... Dude, like this case is just dragging on and it's so bad. And it was so good. Like I've said it a lot. This is why it's the disappointment, is it was so good. And just all of a sudden just train wrecked. Don't do all the options. I'm guessing that's the answer. I mean, I was going to ask you for the answer anyway, but just be careful when you ask a question in the form of something like that. It's kind of a spoil. But I'm not unhappy at all because I was going to ask. Oh, let it go. Why would you let it go? See, that's the thing. Like, why would you just be like, oh, it's probably just my imagination? You wouldn't. In all the previous ones so far, you always press it further, and when the judge says, was this appropriate? You say, yes, it was. Can we believe your testimony up to this point has been reliable? I don't think that's it, Valkyrie. I pressed further last time, so I have pressed further. Okay, so we... Alright. So I did press further. Which was I'm supposed to press further. He gives more details. He asks why. He says trust, blah blah blah. Why is it important? It was not important. Which we've been trained to say it's always been important. Why he meets his clients is not important, that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. Adrian is not a him. What was that game we played that had that, the dialogue, oh, in Koja, and it had that stupid dialogue challenge at the end where you had to get the exact right, meaningless dialogue options in the correct order? Yeah, Adrian's a girl, so he obviously never met her. It's true what they say when talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Yes, it was very important. I believe the testimony now was good. Why? If that's the case, witness, please include a statement now in your testimony. Very well, it's in the testimony now.
Objection!
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at the bar and took a request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley DeKiller. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her. If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Don't assume, Phoenix. Oh wait, this wasn't made in 2020. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? Witness testified to the following, that he always meets face to face with his clients when taking their request. No, it's spelt the first way. Her name's not Adrienne, it's Adrian, but it's a unisex name. Adrienne is predominantly a female only, but yeah, Adrian can go either way. Adrian! Yes, Rocky? Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. Means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. They tried to put some realistic, some sort of metallic shine on to make it look like oil. Interns, man. Interns. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. Hey, Exeter, how you doing? However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? Because he's lying. Or because Matt went to see the client under a false name. I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Yes, because her surname being Andrew is what really makes people think that she is male. Stupid game devs. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley DeKiller, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. He's going to spit out more lies. Very well. But this time, please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you, dog. You like the sweating they give? I wouldn't have minded if they had oil coming out of him as sweating, but if they'd just drawn it in cartoon, the same as the rest of the game, instead of... I don't know what they tried to do with it. Yes, now I remember. I took the request by mail. You've always said you don't take it by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Corrida, and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through on letter. He didn't mention one, which means he's definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin testimony completely, it's over for us. I know I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing across from me, no matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. I gave Phoenix Mears voice there, he deserves it. He's a boob. A big boob. Just like Mears. I mean, if you're British, you could say he's a bit of a twat, you know? Just like me. Yes, now I remember. I took the request by mail. There have been times where I took my job without having met my client. The request is for the murder of one. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We already read these ones through the talk. We just have to go through them again. Alright, let's just press on everything, because I can't be bothered trying to work anything out. I didn't ask you that, Valkyrie. Didn't you just say that you always meet your clients? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, okay, come now. Let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness without such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. Killer met with his client? His testimony where he said he met with his client? Is that a deal? No, I do not. I like how this is like we've been badgering all the witnesses for the entire day because it's the only thing we've been able to do. And finally now he's like, don't do that. Your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of the right and wrong. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I meet each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunity. Nice business opportunities. On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, now I've joined the times and I now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail. You have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? That's terrible. I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Email. In the contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot, hands down. Anyways, you took this job without having met your client, and the request is for the murder of one corrida, and 2 or 3 other small things. Two or 3 other things. Why is it showing me that? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. No, it wouldn't. We could always just try again and pick the other option next time. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Everything I've said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one? Wait. It's looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Sure. Witnesses are a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine. After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was the figurine? It was inside Mr. Corrida's suitcase. And then... What did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client. Interesting. And this information...
Here for a good time and here for a long time.
Naughty Pine Mum Man with the 25 months for the good time and the long time and the thick time. How you doing? Thank you so much for the support, man. How you been? We have opened the figurine. There was a forged suicide note in there. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. Alright, so we have bear figurine. Let's press this one. I found this figurine at Mr. Engard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. Okay. That's not true because we have testimony that says he gave it off. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Engard, I'm sure. Wait, also, he doesn't like the framing of murders to someone else. He wants to claim them. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with that piece of testimony? Yes, but you're going to get it wrong. And it's always funny because any other time you press and there's nothing there and it's just a bit of banter, they don't ask you anything. They don't go, did you have something to do with that? All of a sudden, this is a key one that we found. And they're like, do you have something to complain about this? So it's like, well, of course we do now. You told us there's something there. Oh, that's cool, man. They really botched this one. But they never met before the killing, according to him. So how would he know he's giving it to the right person? I don't know. Like, it's all rubbish. But I know there's a contradiction. He will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. She's right. So what now? Present the evidence. Let's go over this one more time. Do we have to? You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine. She told you to take the bear and wait for her at On Guard Mansion. Is that correct? Yes. Where are you going with this? I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly. What? It's battle of wits, I can't let up on him. I don't think it's possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. Well, I mean, it is. That's the note, right? Because if she would have burnt it. Well, she says she would have burnt it.
Take that!
Shelley to Killer. If he really had given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not be inside it. This item? Let the court records show you have arrived, Severo, my man. Welcome. I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pick a suitcase? Stupid judge. Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. I was going to burn it for her sake. Which could also just be a lie. I don't think it is, though. If even for a single minute this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. I still think she wrote it. And put it in there herself. In which case she wouldn't have burnt it, because she needed to put it outside Mountain Guard's spare room door, so that when this point in time came, she could have said, but I was going to burn it. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Order, order, order! I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter I must attend to.
Hold it!
No, please, not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What is that? Mr. Wright, are you? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony? Or is this enough? Well, we should. Sure, if we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... Let's just listen to the people for a while, yeah. The prosecution... What has come over everyone? Even you are. The prosecution... rests. What is going on around here? Prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? What? Now, he knows. Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. The prosecution rests with no further questions, and the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. If I end the trial here right now, then your client, Matt on guard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Whoa. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we'll now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt on guard, to the stand. The items from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could. It looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as truly innocent and good person. You've done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Huh. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. On guard. What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap, it's just atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer. You'd better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? Man, the game's really, really pushing me in the direction that they want me to go with, hey? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged with as the murderer. If I say he's guilty or not guilty. Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose, because that's how the law works in Nintendo Land. Now then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear the defense's final statement on this matter. The person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews. And your client, Mr. Matt on guard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. Can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client. Oh, that's me. My client, Matt on guard, is... Wow, they really put it out there, don't they? Okay, so if we play this from a metagame perspective, if Maya dies, would Phoenix take custody of Pearly? In which case, Pearly can summon Mia whenever she wants or whenever we ask her to. Maya can only summon Mia sometimes. So Maya's death potentially means more Mia for us. I think the Bobs have spoken. Yeah, more Bob endings or less Bob endings? I mean, you've always got to go with more Bobs, right? My client is guilty. We were waiting for your answers, right? I said guilty. Man on guard, your client deserves an answer. We said guilty. Plus, Maya wanted us to make sure he got a guilty verdict. Maya, I'm sorry. Say it. Matt on guard is...
Objection!
saved. Less Bobs. Franziska von Karma. What are you doing here? You see now, don't you, Miss? Remember when we had to pick how we could get the items from Gumshoe? He was probably still had his tracker on him from her. So she probably went and picked up the items and just brought them in right now. You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgelord. The Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine and his injuries are minor. All the items are inside this. The filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoe's. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I've fought long and hard this whole I wouldn't overestimate that at all. Not at all, you have. All for what's inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? What just say he's guilty. Like... This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial.
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Mrs. Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. Oh, I suppose you are right. I'm not the judge or anything. Miss Edgelord, I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. If they don't bring up any points, it doesn't matter if they're not accepted. Like, it's... what a useless statement. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by De Killer during his escape from police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. De Killer left 3 pieces of evidence. There will be something that will turn this into the whole situation around, like a miracle. Okay. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does De Killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? No. What's his face was strangled and then stabbed by Andrews after he was murdered. However, Francisca got shot by the dude, so pistol could be relevant there. there's no way of actually knowing what the game thinks. Wasn't Francisca hit by a sniper? No, she was just shot by a dude. I thought you said you hadn't played this before. That'd actually be a fun watch. Do you really care about if he shot Francisca or not? I think that's the thing. I don't care if he shot Francisca with the gun or not. Yeah, there's no real benefit. Who cares if that was the gun that shot Francisca? Ooh, with the finger out, please present the next piece of evidence. Evidence is a videotape. Yeah, okay, we want to look at it. We want more details on the tape. Have you checked the contents of the tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh, yeah. Alright, but I'd speculate this tape is very important. Well, let's play it. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from Tequila. Shelley Tequila is no ordinary man. The bellboy's uniform. Yeah, let's ask. Is it from the hotel? Was that used during the crime? Yes, it was, Phoenix. Don't be an idiot. I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. Ooh! No doubt about it, Tequila was wearing this on the night of the murder. There's one thing I found interesting about this uniform. And what was that? There's a button missing on this uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That's all I have to present, Your Honor. Just as I thought. What is that, Your Honor? I'm sure we're under normal... I'm sure. Were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelley Tequila's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. The tape might. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now.
Hold it!
Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix! I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But, no matter how you think about it, it's, try. For my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? I mean, she said head first, which means there's 2 options left. Mia. The first... Make on guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Make on guard wish for a guilty verdict. Why would he want a guilty verdict, and how do we get that to what's his face? That on guard changed the rules. He's got a phone on. He could call the dude and say let her go. Right? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If on guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. Well, you assume. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with On Guard. If the killer were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, this is even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix. Think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? That is not helping. The other side. Wait, does she mean... You mean... to turn things around? Phoenix. The judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, the prosecution, and the judge. We've all seen the piece of evidence. Well, Matt's the only one who hasn't seen it. And that is how we've come to know the truth. This is Mia's talking. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections at this time, correct? I kind of just don't want to object. I just want it to be over. Now then, I'll pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
Objection!
God damn it, Phoenix. I've already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. Oh, one chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
Objection!
That's impossible. Turn this situation around in one try. One try? That is all I will permit. I have to try to remember. How does the judge know who the one person is? That's such BS. Everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix. Think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking On Guard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? I'm going to go right out on a wing here. Oh, wait, that's not a person. Whoops. And now tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. I didn't even pick a person. I was going to pick this person. Celeste. But apparently I'm showing... The person I picked was not a person. I don't know. I just don't care. Present to Celeste. Well, what do you think, Miss Edgelord? I don't care. Okay. How about you, Miss Wakama? I don't care either. Neither do I. We lost. That's enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. The court finds defendant Matt on guard. Not guilty. The fact that it let me pick what did it let me pick? It says show this to a person, and I picked an item. That is all court is adjourned. Hey, we won. And just like that, case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom, and we wandered the streets alone. I will show Celeste to my attorney's badge. Yeah, my attorney's badge. Oh, I clicked on my attorney's badge, and the verdict was yeah, I just don't care. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to be, because miracle is something that doesn't exist. The end. Yeah, and Panz is like, don't give a shit. I got an achievement for it though. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible.